Oh, hi. So, it's been just a little bit since my last video post. In fact, it's been this whole year. I think I made that last one welcoming everybody into 2021, and then I was planning on making a few others, but then just shit just kept getting crazy in the world, which is very disappointing. I don't know. I thought everybody was under the notion that everything was just going to magically get better. But surprise, we're all still just people. Anyway, though, just taking a run. Again, one of my favorite things to do out here in Washington. Just such beautiful places to do this, and nothing else to do, so might as well get in shape. I've only been saying it for 30 years that I would be getting in shape this year. So might as well finally do it. I don't know, but with this channel, I'm still kind of figuring out like what I want to do. Mostly, this is kind of just my journey. Becoming a wind turbine technician, and starting my career, and all the fun that I want my boys who watch these videos to kind of see, what I'm up to. I get to talk to them here and there, play some video games. That's awesome. But this channel should maybe be more about what I'm actually learning. I don't know, but it's kind of boring. But it's exciting at the same time, just because I'm involved in it. But a lot of it, is just when we actually do get to go to class. That is because. Don't forget, this is a COVID world, and this part of the country right now is definitely like ground zero. It seems like we're right here next to Oregon, and it's there's new strains and all kinds of cool stuff coming at us. But that's not what this video is about. That's just a thing we all have to deal with. So plenty of reasons to smile nowadays if you don't pay attention to all the bad shit. That's what I've been trying to do this year. Is try to avoid all the bad news. Like I got off Facebook a long time ago, so I got rid of everybody else's junk out of my brain. And that's been therapeutic in so many ways compared to however long I've been on an avid Facebook user. It's so nice not to know what is going on in everybody else's life before they reach out and tell me, or I actually get a chance to talk to them. And we have a real conversation. It's been nice. But anywho, so what have I been learning in school? So when we actually get to go, which is, when I first got here, was very slim to none. Maybe once or twice a week actually at school, and it was for very, limited amount of time. It's not a standard kind of classroom. And they're in the school's doing their best. The teachers are doing their best within the new parameters of the world that we live in, and and so I have to keep that in mind. And I try not to be too judgmental, or whenever I compare what I'm getting to the expectations I had coming into this. But I'm telling you, I'm learning a lot. Hydraulics was the very first course after like a kind of an introduction into wind energy, and and all the ways that is being looked at by the world and accepted, more so as we get into this new era of energy and the ways that we get it. Kind of reminds me a lot of like oil back in the day, like my granddad, Benny Box, shout out. He doesn't even have the internet, but whatever. Shout out to you, Granddad. He was kind of on the forefront of the oil boom, and he worked at Shell, a chemical plant and gas plant in Pasadena, Texas, for his entire life. And it was a good career for him, very honest living, and it wasn't easy to get hurt some, and he's got plenty of stories. But he invested well and made some good money and stuff, and so. I'm kind of seeing the same thing in renewable energy, specifically wind, I don't know crap about the stock market, but somebody maybe needs to tell me so I can maybe buy some stocks into wind energy and how that would all work out. I don't know. If you know, let me know. So that'd be cool. We can make some money. But that's what it kind of reminds me of is the beginning of just a new way of getting energy, of creating energy and retaining it and dispersing it. And so that's exciting to be, on the forefront of that, because wind energy isn't new. Turbines have been around for a long, long, long time. Windmills even longer than that. So there's a long history there, but the world is finally catching up to, the importance of, not depleting our natural resources, which depending on who you talk to, that goes this way, that way, and I'm definitely not the guy to talk to about that kind of stuff. I don't think that, I think the world's going to be fine with or without us. I don't know. But again, this isn't about that. That my inspirations are, I don't know, money driven. It's going to be a good career. I want to be able to take care of my boys, my family, maybe let my mom retire finally. She deserves it. And I don't know, maybe it's just exciting. It's exciting to be a part of, the beginnings of this new ways to get energy. So yada yada yada. Hydraulics was a lot of fun. Hydraulics in class was, it was mostly learning how to read schematics and, the blueprints basically for what I'm going to be looking at whenever I'm climbing up into a tower. And, I've got to know how to read these schematics in order to, find, certain components and things. And the fun part of it, the practical part of it at school was actually when we got to hook up these hoses. Maybe I'll sneak back in there and make a couple videos. I didn't want to be that guy being like, it's for my YouTube video, guys. And while we're actually learning with a teacher looking at us sometimes. So, I've been trying to absorb as much of this education as I possibly could and not get distracted by trying to promote myself. I don't know. I've had to relearn. I'm 37 years old, so I've had to relearn how to learn, and educate myself again, which a lot of it actually has been kind of educating myself because of the lack of in-person classroom. My roommates and I have developed a kind of classroom at our dorm. It's apartment repurposed, but whatever. At our dorm, we have like a dry erase board and and all the schematics and things all listed out all over the place. It's pretty cool. We use my TV to watch our online lessons, our modules and stuff like that. So we've actually made the best of a unique and to our generation situation with the disease in the world and all that. And so it's actually been a lot of us teaching one another, which has been pretty cool. Then the stuff's not very difficult. It's not like brain busting or anything like that, but there is just a lot of information. And with there's always the notion that this little bitty piece of thing of information that I'm kind of learning or maybe paying attention to at the time or whatever, that could be something crucial that I should know in a pinch later on. And so I try to absorb and retain as much of that as I possibly can. And having my roommates with me on that, and us actually having real conversations about our schoolwork and our curriculum that we're learning. So it's been very instrumental. That was hydraulics. Hydraulics was fun and and kind of eased us into what was to come next, which is electronics. Oh Jesus, I'm telling you right now, like, I'm glad that hydraulics was first, because if electronics was first, man, I might have given up. I don't know. That is a ton of information, and the way that we're kind of getting it is in packets, I will say this: they've found a way for us to go to class, like in person, a little bit more. So I actually had that moment where I got to sit in class with my fellow, classmates and raise my hand when I had a question. It was pretty cool. I think I even got the answer right. But it was just so that part of it's actually been very nice. We go there and we do some practical exercises. They have got these little things called trainers that we can kind of hook up some wires, and he gives us different schematics. It's very similar to hydraulics in a lot of ways. Especially if you start looking at some of the schematics and how they're set up, and what this thing does to that thing, and vice versa, order of operations and stuff like that. And so it's been very cool to do that stuff, but my God, the homework, and if I had any of my roommates around with me, they'd be like, yeah. And so it's been hurting our brains. These last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy, but still learning a lot. Actually had a test today. I think I aced that bitch. I shouldn't say that word. That's a terrible word. Maybe I can edit that out later. But it just felt right at the time to say it because, gee, man, it was tough. The homework and studying for that test was way harder than the actual test. Maybe that was on purpose by the teacher. I don't know. But man, I felt pretty confident about it this morning. The last day or so, I didn't really push it as far as the studying goes. I didn't want to overwhelm my brain, and which was, I think, probably the best move, because I went into it this morning not trying to remember any specific thing, and by the time I had the test in front of me, it all just kind of clicked, and which is great. Again, if you're out there making fun of me right now, being like, damn, man, that's like so kind of a weird way to do things. Well, I told you I'm learning how to learn again. So, and definitions and of some of these things. Whoo! Maybe I'll actually show some of the work sometime so that your eyes can go cross like mine. Anyway, though, I felt pretty good about that test. I've had a few tests so far. My GPA is still in the 90s. I think I haven't got my score from today's test. I hope my overconfidence going into the test didn't mean that I failed it, because the one that we had before this one, I went in and I was not confident at all. It's like everything, as soon as I sat down in that classroom, just went poof, right out, like flew out like a fly out of my ear, and I ended up doing okay on that one. I passed that one, not as well as I wanted. I got an 89 on it, but it was a whole lot of like labels and stuff like that on one of the devices, and so I don't know, just a whole lot of stuff. But overwhelmed or not, that's all part of this journey, isn't it? It's been so much fun, kind of reinventing myself, refining, or finding out who I am, really, being okay with some of the things that I was really kind of hard on myself these past few years. Anybody that knows me personally, I had a few things kind of thrown my direction, and I felt like one bad decision kind of led me to another one, and I put some faith in the wrong people maybe, and I became overwhelmed with life, and hardship and things like that, and I wasn't very honest with myself, and I wasn't very forgiving to myself, and it put me in kind of a depression, and that's before the world ended. And so whenever that happened, it just really hit me hard. Everybody got hit hard by this, I know, so don't cry me a river. I'm just saying that's my story, and then watching the world kind of set itself on fire, especially here in the States, like, man, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I fit in anymore. I don't know who I am in all this. You know, it's very confusing, you know, to see what's going on out there and go, do I want to be a part of that? Do I feel that way? Do they want to be a part of that? Do they even know why they're there? You know, whatever scenario you can come up with that we saw last year or even this year. Holy crap. You know, I don't want to be associated with people like that. Anybody that feels like violence is the answer is just, they got a couple of screws loose, you know, and that's just one generation teaching another to be nuttier. And I don't think that's led us anywhere positive in this country at all, you know. and so trying to avoid all that, you know, and right now for work I'm driving Uber, and I'm in Vancouver, Washington, so I've got to be really careful with any kind of opinions I may have, because everyone's so on their soapbox and, you know, thinking like, oh my God, if you don't agree with me, then screw you. And I'm just like, I'd rather not, you know, even have a conversation with you. There is no healthy debate in that, with that kind of mindset coming at you, you know. And I love conversation. I mean, hell, I'm out in the woods right now talking to myself. So yeah, I like conversation. I like a good healthy debate. You know, sometimes I do that with myself too. And I always win the fight. But anyway, though, it's been weird, you know. And so finding this career path, you know, with the wind turbine and renewable energy, and, you know, and the future that I see for myself and for my children, you know, the ability just to kind of take care of them and not really be a part of all the crazy, the corporate world. You know, I've been bumping elbows with people that thought they ruled the world for the last like almost 10 years, you know, in the car industry. Whew, man, you know, that stuff, it wears you out having a conversation with some of these people, because, I mean, it's just, you know, especially now that we have social media, you know, so it's like that just inflates their ego even more. So, you know, it's like talking to somebody and all they know how to talk about is their Facebook posts. You know, it's like they actually try to live up to what they post on Facebook, which it just comes off as like super fake. It's like, you know, when somebody has like a really botched nose job and you're just like, yeah, it looks great. Yeah. It's like all turned up and stuff. It's like that. That's what people have kind of become to me, you know, just a little fake and confused, and they don't know how to find their own identity anymore, you know. And, you know, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm not saying that I'm doing it right and everybody else is doing it wrong, but I feel like things like this, you know, you take a situation where it kind of knocks you down, you know, you have to step back, take a look at yourself, you know, and really listen to your own voice. Don't listen to the opinions of others. The ideals and opinions of other people can really weigh you down, you know, if you let it, which that's all Facebook or most social media is. It's just ideas and opinions being thrown in your face, and it's heavy, you know. And I'm telling you right now, if you get off of that site, you know, maybe not. I didn't delete my account. I'm connected to so many people, and you know, it's kind of like a phone book for me now. But it's not something that I update everybody with on a day-to-day basis, or a minute-by-minute basis, or every little second of my life, you know. I mean, hell, it's taken me, you know, this entire month just to make this video. Oh, I'm getting a little long. If you're still listening, I appreciate it. So anyway, I think that's enough of my rant. I decided to get off Facebook because, and I'm happy, and I will probably never, ever, in fact, I never, ever will. I don't like what it does to me, and I feel so much better. I feel so much more clear now that I'm not worried about everybody else anymore, you know? And that might sound selfish, but I'm not talking about like in my heart, you know. I'm not talking about like, I'm not concerned about what's happening in other people's lives. I don't need to know, you know, that your dog spilt the orange juice all over your coffee table and it looks like baby Jesus or something like that. Well, just send me a picture, text it to me, old style. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be one of the many phantom thumbs up that you get about the story. You know, I mean, it just seems a little vacant when people post stuff and they just expect to see thumbs up. You know, like hardly anybody even comments really constructively. You know, nobody comments to have a conversation. It's just like, oh, well, this is what I think about that thing you did. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, very self-absorbed. But, I mean, here I am making a video on my YouTube channel. Oh, man. But anyway, though, so getting back to what this channel is going to be about. My journey, my story, me reinventing myself. Every once in a while, I might throw out some of my ideas or opinions on, you know, the way I'm seeing the world and what's happening. You know, not really so much to change anyone's mind or anything like that. Just to have actual conversation, you know, to actually have, you know, some maybe healthy debate. You know, if you disagree with something I say on here, I mean, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it, you know, but we could still be friends and high five each other afterwards. You know, it's just, that's the way we used to do it. I'm not that old. But, and I want my kids, more importantly, to see that there is an alternative to, you know, just selfishly reacting, you know, calling someone out on their flaws before you even really get to know them, you know, just all these things, you know. I want my kids to know how to have a conversation with somebody and not judge them, not prejudge them. You know, I want my kids to know what hard work is. That's, you know, I feel like I've shown them, you know, a certain side of myself. Professionally, I was running a company for a while, and, you know, and they saw me kind of go through that. You know, there was a lot of time I wasn't able to be around, you know, because I was always working. And, you know, this new career is going to be somewhat kind of the same, but I mean, you know, I think the time that I will have with them when I'm not on job is going to, you know, it's going to be a little more quality time. And the money that I'm going to make is going to give us a little comfort in life, and just, you know, and hopefully the world kind of calms down with everything else, and, you know, we're able to explore just a little bit more. I don't know. Anyway, though, I'll go ahead and let you go. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, thanks for caring and listening to me blab on about whatever. I will try to have a little more structure in these videos later on. You know, maybe actually show some of what I'm learning, some of the, you know, the cool, you know, schematics and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, though, thanks for watching. Goodbye.